A short postscript to my video about taking autumn cuttings. I thought I'd like to show you how they're coming along. It's the 1st of March, and if you remember, I took the cuttings in early November. I took 40 cuttings of a variety that I particularly wanted to have in my collection. Having taken 40 cuttings, 30 of them made roots and were potted on. Now they've lived in the propagator all over the winter. I think in the programme that I made in November I said that the temperature I was going to leave them at was 10 degrees. I actually increased that to 15 degrees. We had quite a cold winter here in England. At times there were quite heavy frosts, so I actually upped the temperature slightly to 15 degrees. Of the 30 cuttings that made roots and I put in the propagator, only 17 made it through until the 1st of March. And these that are on the bench at the moment are some of those 17. Now, as you can see, it's quite amazing, but they've come through the winter and actually made small tubers. Now, there are also some side shoots coming off those tubers, look, which are obviously going to grow on to a state where they can produce cuttings in the spring, in the same way that we would normally take cuttings. And as you can see, there's one here that's got a new shoot just starting at the bottom. What I've done today is take them out of the pots from over the winter, and I'm potting them up into a little pot that's a little larger and putting some new compost, and it's high nutrient compost, to feed them up and get them moving. I've already set my tubers going for this year, so they're in the greenhouse at the moment. So I'm going to put these into larger pots just to get them going for the spring. Now you can see there's quite a lot of these have got some good side shoots come on them. If we just take this one out of the pot that it's been in all over the winter, now you'll see that one too. Oh, this one's made 2 tubers, and you can see, look, there are brand new shoots coming up from those tubers, so they're really getting going quite well. This one, the main cutting died off, but there's still a shoot there, so let's just have a quick look and see what's happened to that. Well, there's the original cutting that's rotted away, but that side shoot has actually made a very small tuber, amazingly. So I'll pot these on, and presumably I'll be taking more cuttings from these cuttings. So this is one that I took a cutting of in, well, it was December actually, early December. So this was a cutting off one of the cuttings that I'd planted in November. See, there's a bit of rotten growth. Let's have a look what these have done. Oh, they've made a fair bit of root. So, oh, would you believe it? Even those taken in December have made a very small tuber. Now that looks as though it's going to make quite a good plant. Anyway, so that's the experiment from last November of taking cuttings late and overwintering them. Alright, I've started with 40, I've ended with 17 plus 3 secondary cuttings that I took, which I think is pretty good. So 17 and 3 is 20, so I've ended up with 50% of what I started with. Now I really expected only to get just a very few to actually go through the winter. So there you are, a short postscript to taking cuttings in the autumn. These look set to get going anytime soon. As I've gone through potting the cuttings on, there are one or two that I looked at that I thought you'd probably be interested to see. This one, there's a dead leaf there, so we'll take that off. This one had got a very small shoot coming from the side of it. Alright, it's got a little bit damaged. It probably won't come to anything, but as you can see, that had actually started growing from the root of this one, which has made two little tubers, which is quite nice. Another one to look at, this one, you can see that the original cutting has died off. Where are we? There. That's rotted away completely, and what's going here looks to me like a fairly strong side shoot. There are also a couple little blips coming from the base of the cutting, so it looks rather as though that's going to get going quite nicely. Another one here, as you can see, there's the original cutting, and there are two side shoots coming up, so it looks like they're all going to get going. Now there's a pair of very poor cuttings here. As you can see, the leaves are looking fairly sorry for themselves. I think we'll just pull those off out of the way. Okay, but if we look at this has obviously got some sort of insect damage, which, oh, when we look in here, there goes a caterpillar. So there we are. He's obviously overwintered in my propagator. Had a lovely warm winter and made a right mess of this cutting. We'll just deal with that, and let's have a look, see what the roots are like, shall we? Okay, not bad. A couple of small tubers coming. So what I'll do is I'll just pinch off some of the remaining bits of leaf that have been left by that caterpillar. We'll leave a bit of leaf on there in the hope that the tuber will actually make it into spring growth, but as you can see, there's quite a nice bit of root on there and a couple of small tubers, quite good. Now that one again looks pretty sorry for itself. This is another one where the cutting itself, look, has died, but a side shoot has come on. So if we have a quick look under the soil with that one, it had quite a nice root structure. There's the original cutting. Okay, so we'll pull that off, that's gone rotten, but alright, it's a bit weedy, but there is some secondary growth that's come from those two little tubers. Okay, right, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'd taken some secondary cuttings off the cuttings. Now the original cuttings, I think I said a few minutes ago, they were taken in November. They weren't, they were taken in October, and the film that I made of them was actually posted on the internet on the 8th of November. So these secondary cuttings were taken on the 27th of November. So let's just have a look at another one. We saw one a few minutes ago. Oh, that looks okay, doesn't it? There's plenty of roots there. Let's see what it's done underground. Now this one, no, it's just got some enlarged roots, not what you'd call tubers at all. It's just got a few enlarged roots, but I think that'll go quite nicely. And if we just have a look at this one, which doesn't seem to have done anything over the winter, it's just sat there. No, good root structure, but this one hasn't made any tubers. There is just a, no, that's a stone, there is just a couple of enlarged roots, that's all. So we'll plant those on and they will obviously get going now the days are lengthening and warming, hopefully, although the forecast for this week is for a pretty cold one. So there we are, some pretty good cuttings going on for the spring.